Merry meet and fare thee well. Settle in for a story with me, Astin Gaël. Thank you so much for being here today. This is your daily collective message for Friday, February the 27th. I am recording this on Friday, February the 27th. So happy Friday from my place to yours. If you are not already following the magic shop on BlueSky, the link to do so is in the description box down below. Over there you will find daily astrological posts, as well as a bit of insight from my perspective on what you may or may not expect because of those astrological placements. You'll also get my unhinged hot takes on whatever is currently going on in the BlueSky community. Most recently, a large majority of witches, pagans, LGBTQIA, astrologers, poets, got placed on block lists and hex lists by a man who claimed that he was charging his crystals with the collective hate. So interesting stuff happens over there. If you would like to support myself and my system, we are diagnosed with a dissociative disorder called DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. You can purchase a personalized short story from me, also in the description box down below, at Buy Me a Coffee. I am not keeping up with my blogs on that page like I would like to be able to, but theoretically there should be a blog post for each phase of the moon. Right now we are working our way through the alphabet, and I am using two words, both starting with the same letter, equal opposites. So a word and its antonym, diving into the etymology, the definition, and comparing and contrasting it to personal events in my life. We are using an excerpt a day from this book until we have no more excerpts left. This is a celebration of men. At last, it says on the back of the book. And that is a key component of all of my platforms. I just find myself, as a trans man, compelled to advocate for the healthy aspects of masculinity that often get overlooked. So, we are reading an excerpt and basing the short story off of that excerpt. Today's excerpt is Initiative. He's making the first move before others have even entered the game. The ink on the idea is hardly dry, and he's already got the ball rolling. He sees no sense in holding back, so he's made the first call, put out the invitation, blazed the first trail. Someone said, "What about lunch?" And while others brainstorm their choices, he's called out for pizza and pie. While the fundraising committee explores its options, he's written a check for a $500 challenge grant. There's always one man who doesn't stand on ceremony when it comes to action, As soon as he hears the words, "what if?" he's already jumped ahead to why not and how soon. Mention that backyard decks are a nice thing, and he'll start sketching out plans on the back of a napkin. Bring up the possibility of getting together sometime, and before you know it, he's mapped out a perfect evening, right down to the balmy breeze and the moonlit sky. While others may study and ponder and pause, his initiative puts him out front in an instant. I'd like to say that I'm a man of initiative, but I am a tortoise in a world full of hares. I sit and I ponder and I compare and contrast. I read reviews before buying anything. My partner, on the other hand, is a bit of a man with initiative. One slight mention of something that I may like to have, and he's picking up his tablet and getting his credit card out and ordering it for me. Um, so, a man with initiative. I'm feeling called to the characters deck first. This is a cheeky take on the Rider-Waite deck from the Ritzy Rose. Just 16 oracles, mainly people-based. So let's get the man. The man with the plan that he takes action on. Alright. What characters are in our story today? One more. Oh, two more. Alright. So, we've got the tits in the reverse. In the Rider-Waite deck, this is the star. I can't show that one. So we have Aquarius energy out on the board, but Aquarius in its detriment. So, speaking of dissociative disorders, Aquarius in its detriment is going to be someone who is quite fragmented, disconnected, mind-body disconnection, thought disconnection, so thinking in fragments. ADHD comes to mind right off the bat. Being able to start 10 different projects but finish none of them. Having intent but not being able to take initiative. So, not great for our main character, right? The epic fail in the reverse. This is the Tower card in the Rider-Waite deck. And I think it's interesting when you are looking at this in the reverse that the people are actually right side up because they are taking a fall from this Tower of Illusion. This card in the Rider-Waite deck insinuates a story or a narrative or a lifestyle 10-10 on the timer as I looked up there. So basically the 10 of cups, the 10 of pentacles has been achieved, but it's only in one's mind. And maybe that mind is fragmented. This is those tins falling down. People around these, it's a couple in this photo, but people around these individuals who lived in the tower, who built the story of the 10 of cups being achieved and the 10 of Pentacles being in the bank. People who once believed that about this couple are now starting to see that, you know, it was all just a story. It was a ruse. Okay. Second character here, the person that represents the Nine of Cups. In this cheeky little deck, it is the audacity. Because people like this that concoct illusions of reaching success cannot stand the arrogance of someone who makes it to these 9 cups and is fulfilled. They are independent and do not require a narrative written about them, do not require the praises of others, do not require hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank to be fully satisfied. This person is satisfied with the achievements that they have achieved. And those achievements are achieved through actual initiative, not a concocted narrative. Ooh. Okay. My nervous system has been in a state of locked for about 3 days now. And I think it's finally starting to break out a little bit. Unfreeze, so to speak. So, let's start with the star. Okay, this star character, this Aquarius person that is currently in a detriment, fragmented thoughts, disconnected mind-body, they were hoping to experience a death rebirth, represented here by these moths or butterflies, but they're showing up in the reverse. They went into a cocoon, possibly this tower was kind of a cocoon, a safety net. They went into that hoping that they would grow wings, that they would be able to fly out of the safety net before it collapsed. But what they're finding is that that safety net became a prison. This tower, built by lies and secrecy and narratives that made them look good and people that didn't conform look bad. It's leaving them in a state of FOMO. The Four of Cups is represented by a person that is being offered an opportunity, possibly the opportunity to fly the nest, to leave this safety net, was hanging above their shoulder the whole time. But they couldn't help but just focus on the Three of Cups that were spilling out in front of them. They couldn't help but focus on the fact that they would have to up and walk away from all the people who helped build this tower. The friends that were around as they played other people out to be degenerates, played other people out to be not key players, not capable or worthy of being a part of this story. And it seems like this FOMO energy is leading this person to want to take a step forward, They want to go out on a limb and maybe take that cup that was being offered to them and possibly pass it on to someone else. Um, maybe even though the tower has fallen, they still have what they perceive to be more abundance than this Nine of Cups energy. And they would like to tempt this person with, the offer of more, more than what they are currently satisfied with. All right, so if that offer were offered to the Nine of Cups energy, what would they say? So the Knight or Page of Cups and the Four of Pentacles with the King of Swords sideways. They would willingly accept help being offered to them, or a job opportunity that suited them. However, they would be prepared to nicely, not in a rude manner, not in a your money's no good here, but they're prepared to say, no, that's not enough, or I don't accept blood money. Essentially, this person with this Nine of Cups is willing and ready to take the next step to the Ten of Cups, but they don't want that extra cup to come from someone who is looking to abuse their initiative. I suppose you could say they're not looking for a cup from someone that doesn't have initiative of their own. Yeah, Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Their ideas are not for sale. But if someone came to them with an idea and didn't know how to put it into action, they would be willing to assist them through that, if that makes any sense. Give me a clarifier on the Tower. So the Two of Wands. This tower is not currently falling and has not fallen yet. There is a choice that's being put in front of the people that have built this tower. Two choices, actually. And one path says, yeah, this narrative that you've concocted about yourself and your happiness is actually going to get exposed as a lie. Or you can, piece by piece, brick by brick, take apart this story. And it starts by the Ace of Swords telling the truth. It also starts by addressing one's inner child. And maybe the woundings of that inner child that leads to the need for concocting stories. possibly a betrayal that the inner child feels needs to be resolved. And often that is something that has to be done internally. Demanding that someone, especially a perceived betrayal, demanding that someone pay retribution that may not even know they've done anything wrong, keeps you in a state of unforgiveness and bitterness, and it's your own doing. You're standing in your own way. There could be law enforcement involved in this. This is possibly a financial matter, and the law has gotten involved. If that's the case, there is news coming, possibly in the mail, possibly via a phone call, possibly via a visit, from a person of law to this to the front door of these individuals. I feel a change on the rise. We're singing all day, you can't change it. Nighttime, high time, Okay. Interesting. The star energy in this story. Okay, the star in this story, the Aquarius who is acting out of detriment, fragmented thought, is projecting their energy outwards. They are obsessively sending their energy towards this person that is sat in the Nine of Cups, King of Swords energy. And they're doing so almost in kind of like a sing-songy manner. It's almost like a taunting energy. And I think that's that inner child. It's like a Nanny-Nanny-Boo-Boo, which is interesting because if this person is hoping to offer up a cup to this Nine of Cups energy, that's really not the way to go about it, unless you're still stuck in that idea that, what's that movie? He's just not that into you. And the opening scene is, at the playground, and a little girl runs over to their mom and says, he pulled my hair, and the mom says, that might mean he likes you. This juvenile thought process that taunting someone is a way of showing that you care. I get the feeling that this person in the Nine of Cups energy is no longer entertaining that. They recognize that conflict can lead to growth, but I think what they have come to terms with is that growth has to be done alone. Maintaining that conflict, maintaining that story of aggressor and aggressee is self-abandonment, and that's going backwards. That's not growing. So it's interesting because this person in the Nine of Cups energy would really love to help this star energy heal that inner child. They treasure maybe not even just this person's inner child, but that energy in general. They treasure people who find joy in the whimsy of life, and they would love to assist that person in finding that joy, but they're not going to tolerate the nonsense of someone's wounded inner child picking on their inner child. Final message. What's the outcome? The outcome is defining a moral code, not as it pertains to the actual law, because I think we can all agree that, especially in the United States, most people in in power, especially in law, are not exactly operating with the highest morals, but a personal moral code, more like the ancient philosophers defined morality. Socrates and Plato. So, I ask you, what does honor mean to you? Drop it in the comments if you feel like sharing, or journal it in your own personal time and your own personal space, and define honor and morality. And I challenge you to take that into this 2026 cycle and use it as a base of all of your decisions, all of those Two of Wands moments where you are presented with two different paths, and both probably have a productive outcome. But what does it take to get to there? Who do you have to step on or not in order to receive justice or success? Until next time, be well, be you.